Hello, everybody. Welcome to my book haul. So, who's ready to hear about some books from someone who goes into all of their books blind? Today, I have 24 books to haul for y'all. I have hauled way more books than this year, but I DNF and I rate a lot of stuff pretty low, unfortunately. So the deal with my shelves, if I give it a 3 or lower, chances are it's going to go immediately. So these are the 24 books that have survived this far into the year. The first book I have is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. I don't know anything about Brandon Sanderson. I just know he's super popular. He's written a million books and I'm intrigued. I looked up a few reading lists because I honestly didn't know where to start, and on most of the lists that I found it said to start with this one. I don't know anything about it. I just know it's a fantasy and it's like this huge universe. So I have this. As you will notice in this haul, I am very easily influenced, specifically by The Lair, which is Jan Agaton's Patreon, which I am a part of, which you should already know if you've watched any of my videos recently. So the Full Moon Book Club pick for this month is the London Seance Society. This is by the same author who wrote The Lost Apothecary, and I DNF'd the hell out of that book. I hated it. I had no interest in this one whatsoever, but because it's a Full Moon Book Club pick, and everyone in the Discord has been either talking about it or they are excited about it, I found it on sale at Barnes and just decided to pick it up. I could have gotten it cheaper at half price, but look at how pretty it is underneath. Like, oh my gosh. Now you may be wondering what this book is about, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you I don't know. We're going to learn together. Two daring women hunt for truth and justice in the perilous art of conjuring the dead. So this follows two timelines, and I don't know anything else about it. I want to go into this one pretty blind, especially because I didn't like The Lost Apothecary. They're not related in any way. I just really didn't like that book, so I would rather go into this one as blind as I can. It will help me keep an open mind. I also got Adelaide. I probably picked this up because of Jan. Apparently this is supposed to have like Sally Rooney vibes. I didn't know that when I bought it. I am not a Sally Rooney girly. I have DNF'd every single Sally Rooney, but I wish desperately to be a Sally Rooney girly. So maybe this is my in. I don't know. I think it's sad girl literature. I'm not sure. So we're following Adelaide, and it says, when love asks too much of us, how do we find the strength to put ourselves first? Next up is Venko. This is supposed to be a witchy book. Again, I picked this one up because of The Lair. Destiny. Hi. She posted passages out of this book into the Discord, and I loved the writing. And when I saw this out in the wild, I had to have it. The blurb on the back says, spellbinding and utterly original. Venko shows the power women can wield when we join forces. And I don't need to know anything else than that. I've heard that it's very good. Freshwater. I have an interesting relationship with Akwaeke Emezi. I loved You've Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, but I hated their memoir and I hated Pet. I despised both of those books, but I loved the other one so much. I know that this was their debut. This author has a brilliant mind. I may have hated 2 of the 3 books that I've read by them, but they are a phenomenal writer. I can appreciate the writing at the very least. Now, if you know me, you will know that I love Olivia Blake. I really, really liked the Atlas 6, but Alone with You in the Ether is one of my favorite books. I am obsessed with it. I think it is perfect. So I found this. I didn't even know this was coming out already. I thought this was coming out later in the summer. So when I found this, I bought it instantly. I don't know what this is. Can't give a synopsis to save my life. In modern-day Manhattan, where we lay our scene, 2 rival witch families fight to maintain control of their respective criminal empires. Sounds like a Romeo and Juliet retelling of some kind, just based on the wording. Ooh, and there's like pretty artwork underneath. Ooh, very nice. Ooh. So basically, I'm going to pick up anything by Olivia Blake. That's where I'm at with her. I think she's a total queen. So I'm really, really excited to get to this one. I kind of want to do a reading vlog, just diving into this because I'm that excited. So let me know in the comments below if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. Charlie, will you please get down? No, ma'am. Get down. Thank you. Next up, we have Love in the Big City. Again, I don't know anything about this other than it's a translated work. I picked this up secondhand. It's one of those ones where I don't see it very often. So I saw it, I recognized it, and that was reason enough for me to pick it up. God, it's no wonder I rate everything so low because I just don't do any research at all. Irresistible humor and charm. Okay, we'll see. It sounds intriguing enough. Again, I really don't need to know anything going into my books. So let me know if you've read this one. Let me know if you know anything about this because I really don't. This next one was also influenced by Jan, but also influenced by S.T. Gibson because she's been speaking very highly of it lately. And that is The Foxglove King. I love this cover. Every time I see it at the bookstore or in Target or something, I always pick it up and read the dust jacket because I am just that intrigued. And every time I do that, I'm just like, maybe not. And I put it down until one day I just picked it up because I am seeing it everywhere. I'm not necessarily like seeing any reviews or people talking about it. I am just seeing this cover everywhere. A young woman's secret power to raise the dead plunges her into the dangerous world of the sainted king's royal court. Okay, see, that's what I'm not really into, like the royal court. We're gonna see. I hope I like it because it's so pretty. And I could use a new fantasy series in my life, I'm not gonna lie. I also have Wayward. Now, this was a cover by Beebs, got this for her book of the month pick a couple months back, and I was very intrigued by it, and it's going to be a full moon book club pick too. This is another one where it takes place in multiple timelines, but it's supposed to be like centered around women and magic, and honestly, I don't really need to know. I don't need to know anything else. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I think I can do this. This was when I actually started. I just never finished it. I got about 30 pages in and just put it down. But I'm very intrigued. I found out that this author is engaged to S.T. Gibson, and I have it in my head that because of that, that the writing must be spectacular. So I did fall in love with this writing on page 1, but I don't know if it's gonna carry the whole book or not. In terms of what it's about, this girl's supposed to get some sort of like medical type job caring for some like rich dude or something like that, and poison is involved, and it's supposed to have like Great Gatsby type elements in it. I don't know. Again, I'm here for the writing. If it has good writing, I can get on board. So we're gonna find out. But again, I left off on page 34, like literally in the middle of a chapter. So hopefully I can pick it up again. I also have S. Sorry, this is still in plastic. So I've seen this book a lot, and I've heard that it has House of Leaves type vibes in the sense that like it has interesting formatting. I picked this up because it was secondhand, but it was still encased in the plastic. I know this has like little bits and pieces that are like scattered throughout the pages that are supposed to help you understand the story, I guess. And I've seen it used before, but I didn't know if it had like all the extra bits in it. So when I found that this one was still sealed and it was half the price, I just picked it up even though I don't know anything else about it other than it's supposed to be like House of Leaves. But I don't know if that's just the formatting or if it is going to be like a haunted house type thing. Let's find out. Okay, so no, not like House of Leaves at all. Apparently it's about these two people who meet each other in the margins of a book, which sounds very interesting. Maybe someday I'll crack it open and give it a try. I don't know when that day is going to be though. I also have the fine print. So this is a romance. These three brothers are the inheritors of, basically it seems to be like Disneyland, but it's not Disneyland. Like their grandpa was the maker of this knockoff Disneyland essentially, And to get their inheritance, these three dudes have to complete these certain tasks or they don't get anything. And apparently the character we're following in this one falls in love with one of the girls who works at the park, I think. Everyone's talking about this series right now. It is all over the place. And because of that, I'm very hesitant because I tend to hate popular things. But again, the Lair gave me such extreme FOMO that I went out and bought it and started it the same night. But I didn't make it very far. I'm on chapter 3. But I liked what I read so far. So we'll see. I hear it does get pretty heavy on the cheese, but I expect that in a romance, especially a hyped up one. Anything that comes from like book talk, I kind of assume it's cheesy. Something that I do think I'm gonna like though is A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. I love T. Kingfisher. So this was an auto buy for me. Again, I don't know anything about it. I just know it's by T. Kingfisher and I didn't need to know anything else. And it's super short. Who doesn't love like a shorter book, right? Sam goes home to visit her mom, but the house and her mom are not how she left them. Like something weird is going on, and she finds a jar of teeth hidden in the backyard, and there's vultures in the garden. I'm in. Something I can tell you about is Sue and Tai Chan. This is volume 2. I couldn't find volume 1, but Barnes& and Noble was doing a buy one, get one 50% off on manga not too long ago. So I picked this one up knowing that when I do reach volume 2 that I will love it. So this is a spin-off series from Chi's Sweet Home, which is basically you're following around this tiny kitten named Chi and you're just following her around in her day-to-day life. And that's it. Like if you love cats in any capacity, you are going to love those. You're going to love those books. So we're following other kitties from that story and I'm in. Like I love it. I think it's such a great depiction of kittens and kitten behavior and the artwork is just super cute and I'm here for it. So someday I will get volume 1 and I'll start this. I'll probably reread Chi 2, even though those are like massive. Like I have them, they're right here. They are massive, massive manga, but so good and so cute. So I know I'm going to love these, and these are a lot shorter too, so that's fun. Another Lair recommendation, Lisa, I'm Talking to You, is Things We Never Got Over. This is another romance, another chunky romance, another very hyped up romance. I do like that it's chunkier because I feel like I've read a lot of romance lately. If you've read one, you've read them all. So I'm really hoping that since this is chunkier, it's going to give me a little bit more. Still Life with Tornado by A.S. King. I've never read anything by A.S. King, but Kayla from Books and Lala loves A.S. King. So when I found this secondhand, I just picked it up. Still Life with Tornado is a vivid and surreal portrait of everyday abuse and survival. A.S. King shows us how an extraordinary human heart can break and the extraordinary ways it can heal. Sounds good to me. I'll get to it eventually. The Lost Writing of Jim Morrison. I never thought that I would see this in the wild and in such great condition because this was published in like the 80s. But basically, Jim Morrison was the lead singer for the band The Doors. I love The Doors. I love Jim Morrison. I grew up listening to The Doors. Thanks, Mom. You're a real one. Thanks, Dad, too. But he's not going to watch this. It's basically just a book of all his poetry. I was in. I needed it. I had to have it. And it was only $6. I'm so excited. I have Over My Dead Body. This is stunning. I have already read this. I actually read this yesterday. And it is so underrated. I can't stand it. So it's witchy. It's spoopy. It's diverse. It's gorgeous. Like, it... Oh, God. Like, hold on. It takes place at a magic school. And this girl's friend goes missing out in the woods. And she's trying to find her. With the help of her friends, of course. The main character, Abigail, I think I want to be her for Halloween this year. And she has a talking cat. I could totally do that. Where the heck is that illustration? This right here. Like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? Oh, I love it. I loved it. It was so good. And it's pretty underneath the dust jacket. It has like the magic school on there. And then, you know, you got the mysterious beastie here lurking in the woods. It was a really good time. If you like graphic novels, if you like witchy school settings, if you like beautiful illustrations and good storytelling, you need to pick this up. Next up is Pinata. This book. I picked this up shortly after release. It's supposed to give like Hereditary vibes, and that movie is a masterpiece. So I was very intrigued, in this cover, so good. It's not very long. I am 90 pages from the end. I've been 90 pages from the end, and I can't bring myself to finish it. I think I might DNF it. So essentially, we're following this woman. She has this big job that she's doing in Mexico, so she takes her 2 girls down there with her, and when they come back to the States, something comes back with them. It sounds really great in theory, but from reading it, like, I'm not getting what was promised. So I don't know if these last 90 pages is where it's really going to be like, ooh, I don't know if it's going to give me what I was expecting. It's not that it was bad. It's just not what I felt I was promised, at least so far, but like, I don't have that much left. I don't have that much left. So I'm hauling it, but I'm probably going to turn around and unhaul it. We will find out. You'll have to wait and see if it pops up in my wrap up or not. Taste by Stanley Tucci. I love Stanley Tucci. I love him in Julia and Julia. I love him in Easy A. I think he's freaking hilarious. I love this man. Like, if you love him in either one of those 2 roles, you're going to love this. And also, if you like food, like, it's very like heavily food based. I definitely think it's worth the read. Like, and I wanted a physical copy of it so bad. And I love this like little paperback. I have Devotions by Mary Oliver. I found it in Barnes, and I sat down on the floor and I read 8 poems, and I was already like sobbing. I have started annotating this, and so has Beebs. All these tabs up here are from Beebs. If you'd like to get into poetry, I would say pick this up. And it's got so much in it that there's bound to be something in there that resonates with you. But oh my goodness, it is so good, and I'm really excited to continue. I'm so glad that I have a copy. The Honeys by Ryan LaSala. So if you like weird books, this is for you. I'm not going to tell you anything about it, which totally defeats the purpose of like your traditional book haul. But if you like things that are weird, just pick it up. Just go into it. Just let it take you. If you're intrigued by any of these titles, pick this one. This one is so good. It is so good, but I'm not going to tell you anything about it. You have to read it, and you have to find out, and come back to this video and tell me in the comments down below, because I really need more people to talk about this book with. Like, if it wasn't for Hellbent, this would be my #1 of the year. Just saying. This next one is a gift from my Aunt Tina. She sent me Cinder. Was not expecting this. She just reached out to me one day and was like, hey, what's your address? I want to send you a book. Which made me very nostalgic, because she used to do that when I was younger. A Cinderella retelling, but in a sci-fi setting. So it seems like Cinderella's a cyborg, and she's, you know, flouncing around in a Star Wars-esque type world. I love it. Thank you, Aunt Tina. Love you. The Cat Who Saved Books. This was a cover buy. I've been seeing it everywhere. It's also a translated work. This boy's grandfather has passed away, and his grandfather owned this used bookstore. So while he's mourning the loss of his grandfather, he's still working in the bookstore, and this talking cat comes to him, and he's like, hey, I need you to go on these adventures with me to save these books. And that's exactly what they do. That is it for my book haul. I need to start figuring out what the hell my books are about before I talk to y'all about them. So if you made it this far, please like, comment, subscribe, all the things. I would appreciate it greatly. But please talk to me down in the comments below. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you've heard of any of these books. If you know what any of these books are about, please let me know. I want to talk to y'all down there. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.